Hello and welcome to another Halfling game. This time it's in the Forum Open League, and this is basically, this is my first Halfling game in the Forum Open League. And as you can see, I'll be taking on a Khorne team. Grid, boom, and names. Or names? No, don't need names, need numbers, that's it. As you can see, the Khorne team consists mostly of cultists and demons. Now usually a Khorne team has a bloodthirster who's a great big dude with claw and mighty blow who's really good. Well, he doesn't have mighty blow to begin with actually, it's just that's generally the skill you always end up getting with him first of all, because it enables him to destroy people. He is rather expensive though, and it seems that this Khorne team has decided not to go for him. They have instead gone for 7 cultists, 2 heralds and 2 bloodletter demons. Now let's first of all look at them just to see. Now, okay, as you can see here, Bloodletter Demon, generally speaking, they're going to have Horns of Regeneration and Juggernaut. The Heralds also have Horns and Juggernaut. Now, Horns allows you to get an extra strength to yourself when you perform a Blitz, which is especially useful when you've got something like Frenzy, which forces you to attack twice, as you get to do 2 Strength 4 attacks in the case of these Khorne Heralds. And Juggernaut allows you to ignore the enemy skills Fend and Stand Firm, I think it is, but also allows you to turn both down results into push results should you roll them whilst specifically you are performing a Blitz. In fact, the whole Juggernaut skill only works if you're performing a Blitz. Same goes for Horns, in fact. So these guys are exceptionally good at blitzing. Aside from that, not much else really. I mean, as you can see, the Bloodletters, the difference between them and the Heralds is that they have regeneration, whereas the Heralds have Frenzy. And basically with regeneration, if you get any badly hurt result, or any injury result as it is, you can roll a dice, and on a 4 or plus, they completely regen themselves and are ready for the next drive. 1, 2 or 3, and they don't, basically. Aside from that, of course, the only other stat difference is the fact that they have armor value 7, which means they're quite easy to hurt, Bloodletters, compared with the Herald's armor value 8. Now, your cultists are just frenziers. They're just traditional linesmen with access to general skills and passing skills for some reason, and have the frenzy trait on them, whereby they're forced to attack everything twice unless they roll a both down result. So yeah, they can be quite dangerous because of that, especially versus Halflings, meaning they're going to get twice the amount of attacks on them, twice the opportunity to destroy my team. As you can see, we did take the Halfling Master Chef inducement for the Halflings. We stole one of his rerolls, which is pretty cool, and I am kicking off, meaning my opponent, who is receiving, will get the quick snap result here, and is moving all of his players 1 space. Now, also, let's quickly check out what skills he's got, his guys. Number 5 has nothing, 10 has nothing, 8 has nothing, 1 has nothing, 11 has nothing, 4 has nothing, 2 has nothing, 3 has nothing, 7 has nothing, but number 6 has block. So he's got 1 skilled guy, and that's number 6 who has the block skill. So he'll be exceptionally good at destroying Halflings. Aside from that, his team's probably only played about a game or so far by the looks of it. And my team has played no games so far. This is my first game in the Forum Open League with these Halflings, called the Foot Soldiers, so named after the enemies of the Teenage Mutant era Turtles. For the most part, I've got Rocksteady and Bebop, as you can see, as the treeman. Everybody else is just a foot soldier with a name that begins with an F beforehand, such as Freckled Foot Soldier and Foolish Foot Soldier. Yeah, not particularly inventive, I just kind of wanted to get the team made. But as you can see, to begin with, my opponent is going to run down my right flank. He's going to push a Halfling out the way with his Gary Cool Bloodletter and get himself quite a way down the pitch. And as you can see, he's bringing up some additional demons to help support him. Now, it's not a big deal. He's already got quite a strong foothold in my half here, and as you know, Halflings aren't the best at knocking people over. But even if he does score, so long as he scores early, that's totally cool with me. I don't mind at all. I'd rather just not allow my players to all get mutilated in the process. I don't absolutely have to stop him from scoring, but I certainly don't want him just holding up and waiting it out. I want to get my opportunity to score in the first half. And as you can see, now his number 6 does a block against my number 5 and knocks him clean out. But it's on to my turn, and the first thing I'm going to do is move my Treeman Rocksteady over to his Bloodletter Demon. Number 3 is going to run around and do a GFI to get close to that Bloodletter there. What was my intention? I'm probably going to be looking to hit him with number 9. It will require the use of 3 more Halflings, both to add modifiers to number 9. Actually, no, just 2 more. 1 to add an extra modifier to number 9. Actually, no, 2 more, because number 3 stands next to number 7 as well. So I'll need to put 2 more Halflings next to number 9, and then another Halfling next to number 4 to take away the modifier that he's putting on number 9, and then I can do a 2 dice block on his number 9. But for the first of all, I'm going to move my Treeman up. Come and lock down that Khorne Herald, or at least lock him down as well as he can. I don't need to blitz with my Treeman at the moment because it won't really achieve anything. I mean, it's always nice to try and beat up his demons, but I think I may well make a play for the ball here, even though it's not incredibly important. However, in the meantime, I'm going to go and move 2 Halflings over to number 8 and use my number 6 to push his number 8 out of the way. Push him back into the Treeman's tackle zone a little bit. Due to the amount of modifiers on number 8 at the moment, he won't be able to do a 2 dice block on either of my players. Then I'm going to swing number 4 around, do a GFI. Did I do a GFI? Apparently didn't do GFI, just did a dodge to get out of that number 7's tackle zone and put my number 4 next to his number 3. Then I'm going to rush in and perform a 1 dice block on him. I really just wanted to separate him from his number 7, but get a fortunate result, get a defender down, and we managed to knock the ball clean out of his hands. He was not particularly secure. He only had number 7 really giving him any protection, and that modifier of number 7 is taken away by number 3 being where he is. So it wasn't particularly difficult to get that done. Meanwhile, number 9 is going to rush out of that Herald's tackle zone and also lay down the tackle zone on number 7. So immediately our opponent is in a bit of trouble here, at least in terms of him being able to score, which is most definitely a good thing for me. And his number 6, his one skilled guy, is just up the pitch with nothing on his mind by the looks of it. I mean, he's far away from everybody. However, we did get some pretty fortunate rolls to be able to get as many dodges done as we did there. So my opponent's going to bring over his number 5 to support and his number 6. Can't do much at the moment, but next turn they'll be bloody annoying, I'm sure. And my opponent is going to target my number 3, Fanatical Foot Soldier, with his Bloodletter. Gets a defender down and knocks him to the floor. He's then going to come in and blitz my number 7 with Carl. Yep, just Carl, who pushes my Halfling back but then gets defended down and kicks him over to the side to get himself next to that ball. Put down as many modifiers on the ball as he can just to prevent me from picking it up. Stands up his number 3 by the name of Ralph. Quite pedestrian cultists by the sounds of it. And meanwhile, he's going to go and attack my number 11 with a Khorne Herald, who will get 2 attacks thanks to his frenzy. However, Defender Stumbles was on my side and it allows me just to take a push thanks to having that dodge skill, so that's bloody handy. He then runs down his number 1. Now he's got a whole shit ton of guys next to the ball. I mean, number 1 isn't strictly next to the ball, but he's close to it, you know. He's enough of a nuisance being where he is. And then he proceeds to smash my number 9, Fun Time Foot Soldier, with his number 7. Gets a 2 dice, which causes a push, and then gets a 3 dice, but luckily doesn't roll anything good, and so just proceeds with another push. Good for at least getting my Halflings as far away from the ball as possible. The only downside really is that it makes it a little bit harder for him to keep tackle zones on the ball with his block. But yeah, the only people that don't have the frenzy are the Bloodletters, and so yeah, they're the only sort of reliable ones in a sense. Now, as you saw there, my opponent got a turnover as he attempted to dodge out with his number 10 Bloodletter. Was unsuccessful, stuns himself, but then my Treeman decides to pay attention to his number 8. Tries to attack him, but unfortunately just gets a push result, so shoves him back a little bit. Meanwhile, I have 8, 6 and 10 Halflings over here, who are really not doing anything useful at the moment, so I will probably come and move them into the fray over here, which could be quite dangerous, but we've got a pretty good chance of getting this ball right here. And if we can score early, as well as, you know, in doing so prevent our opponent from scoring, we're going to have a huge advantage going into the second half. So since we've managed to achieve this, we may as well go full on for it and really try and lock up the enemy team and grab that ball rather than just delay him now. I mean, any delay I do to my opponent will still probably result in him, if he does get the ball, probably result in him scoring by about turn 4 or 5, which is, it's not too late, but if my opponent is going to score, again, if he is going to score, I'd rather him score early or not at all. And yeah, since we managed to knock the ball out of his hands, I think I'm going full on for the not at all point right here. Yeah, as I was saying, thanks to so many of the Khorne team having the frenzy trait on them. See, the thing about frenzy can be good, can be bad. I mean, it effectively can enable you to get double the amount of attacks, providing you've got the good modifiers there. However, it can cause you to attack into areas you don't want to attack into, causing you to get 1 dice or even 2 dice blocks against sometimes when you don't want them, which can really screw you over. And or it can just outright prevent you from attacking, because you know full well if you don't manage to get a good result on that first attack, the second attack will be a 2 dice against, and you don't want to risk it. So consequently, you're just forced to not attack the opponent, who you would otherwise be able to just at least try and push away or knock down. But yeah, the one good thing generally about frenzy, it does allow you to knock guys away. Just keep pushing them away, get them away from the ball or the ball carrier, but consequently you thin out your defense on that ball carrier. So yeah, you need to think a little bit more with them when you're using the Khorne team. They can be difficult, but they can also be very, very strong, especially with a Bloodthirster. Once you get a Bloodthirster with Mighty Blow, Claw Mighty Blow on a guy that has Strength 5 or Strength 6 blitzes, thanks to Horns, and what else? He has Juggernaut on him, which means his blitzes are less likely to fail, or at least he's less likely to make himself fall over on the ground when he rolls both down results. He's very dangerous, yeah. Claw Mighty Blow really gets people off the pitch very, very fast. As you can see from what happened previously, my Treeman attempted to blitz to hit the Khorne Herald, failed to do so, but uses the rest of his movement to go and stand in the back of 6 and 9, just to put a bit more pressure on them, prevent them from being able to move as freely as they want to do. And meanwhile, my number 4 dodges out of the tackle zones, manages to pick up the ball, still didn't have to use any rerolls, so that was pretty handy. But still, just only one actual tackle zone on that ball, so it was a 4+ to pick it up. We succeeded in doing so, dodge out of the tackle zone in number 2, and then run around to the minor protection of my Halflings over here. And I do 2 GFIs to try and position myself in such a way that it's a little bit more difficult for them to actually get to my ball carrier. All the while, still not having to use a reroll, so that's bloody handy. That's the great thing about having lots of rerolls. The more rerolls you have, the more you kind of have spare to use on unimportant shit, basically, or stuff that isn't particularly important, whereby normally if you only had 2 rerolls you'd probably not take so many risks, because there might come a time where you really need that reroll. When you've got 5 rerolls, you can quite whimsically use them, really, and due to that you take these risks, and sometimes they all work out and you haven't had to use a reroll. Consequently, you've gained a whole load of achievements from your team. In a sense, you've achieved a lot with your team. You've done all these GFIs and taken all these risks, and they've worked out. And all the while you haven't had to use a reroll. Whereas if you didn't have so many rerolls, you wouldn't have even taken the risk in the first place, you know. That confidence you can have through having a lot of rerolls can enable you to achieve a lot more than when you don't have them rerolls and you are unwilling to take such risks. Now it's on to my opponent's turn, and first thing he's going to do, try and knock my number 3 back with his number 1. Still fails to get any defender down results, which is handy for me. Up until now, where his number 7 is going to attack my number 7. And he kicks my halfling to the floor. But, again, no armor broken, so everything's cool. Going to run around his herald here. Yeah, this is a pretty good idea here. It looks like now he's going to try and basically get his players in between my huge mound of halflings in the middle here and my halfling and treeman up the top, who are the guys I'm clearly going to try and run to, you know. If I can, I'm sure I'm going to try and hand off the ball from number 4 to number 11 and just get as far away from his team as possible. So I think my opponent sees the general idea of what I'm doing here and is just trying to lock up that huge mound of halflings whilst providing a wall in between my 2 sections of the team. And runs his herald into the back of my halflings there. Though it would have probably been a wiser idea to run him to the left of number 4 just to lock up that part, that free area where I can still run to. I'm not sure if his bloodletter was still stunned. He should have probably picked him up first and used him at least to lock up that section. But he failed to do so. He tried to attack one of my halflings, got 2 attacker down results, decided not to use a reroll, and consequently he's on the floor. My treeman laughs in his face and smashes one of his guys to the floor, number 6, by the name of Slain. Oh, who was his block guy, of course. So his block guy is now out of the picture. Thanks to Bebop. Nice job, nice job. And meanwhile, my number 3 is going to attack his number 1 since I've got all these assists. And we get 2 defender down results and pummel him to the floor in front of the treeman, taking inspiration from the treeman's violence. And now onto my next treeman, Rocksteady, who's going to try and attack Glenn over here. Gets defender stumbles, smacks him to the floor. I used a blitz with him, so I imagine I'm going to try and move him. Right, okay, and I'm going to use him to go and stand next to the bloodletter to just try and lock him up a bit. Or at least force him to dodge, you know. Force as many of those rolls on my opponent as possible. Not entirely sure why though, because assuming I'm going to hand off to number 11, it'd probably been better if I locked up number 1 with my locked up number 8, who's lying on the floor currently with my treeman, since he's going to be clearly closer to the end of the pitch and consequently the halfling who's going to run up with the ball. But it looks like I am not going to try and hand off to number 11. Instead, I'm just going to try and create a kind of loose cage around him. Admittedly, if I did hand off to number 11 and tried to run him up the pitch, I don't know if we'd make it, to be honest. As in, we've got movement 5 and my opponent's got movement 6. He probably would be able to catch up with me if he took some GFIs at least. I guess I could GFI as well. I figured it was probably just a bit safer here to just make the cage instead of trying to run off on my own. And yeah, we've got things pretty secure at the moment. I mean, we've got 3 guys in this treeman's tackle zone. This bloodletter's in this treeman's tackle zone. And aside from that, my opponent's kind of just locked in the middle with a couple of demons and a cultist. He has got 2 cultists at the back, but yeah, all they can really do is hit the back of my wall at the moment. Which is fine, because we're heading north anyway, so guys who are still stuck at the bottom are really of no consequence to me. So yeah, we create this cage around my number 4, ferocious foot soldier, and my opponent will not be able to attack my ball carrier this turn. And that's good enough for me. So meanwhile, my opponent's going to stand up his Ezekiel Bob, Khorne Herald, and run in with his number 2 by the name of Carl. Stand next to the back of my cage, where Funtime Foot Soldiers currently throwing a party. Who knows? And aside from that, I imagine he's going to dodge out with his number 9, or at least attempt to. Yeah, he's got no real business standing next to the treatment. It's not going to achieve much. But it seems he's going to go and blitz with his number 3 first, Ralph, straight into my number 11, which will allow him to stand next to my ball carrier. Now I'll probably attempt to blitz that pit fighter cultist with my number 1 treatment, assuming the bloodletter stays on the floor and doesn't try and dodge out. Of course, my opponent could stand up his bloodletter just to hang there next to the treatment to prevent him from dodging, since I don't have break tackle yet. But he only has armor 7 on his bloodletters, and my treatment does have mighty blow, so he will be getting smashed to the face if he does stand up. But it will force me to blitz with some halflings instead of the treatment. And over here you can see his number 7, red, targets my number 7, foolish, to attempt to knock him off the pitch, or at least is getting there. So if I don't want him knocked off the pitch, I'm going to have to dodge him in my turn. However, that's not particularly important. And yeah, number 9 does indeed attempt to dodge out of number 2's tackle zone, and does a good job of it, and legs it up to the top of the pitch. That's the thing, if I had have handed off to my other halfling there and ran him up at the pitch a little bit, number 9 wouldn't be too far behind. I could have probably still made it, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure my opponent could have blitzed me, as it goes, with the guy that was on the floor. I don't think I could have got so far up the pitch that I could have got away from him, even though he was on the floor. His movement of 3 and possibly using 2 of his GFIs, 1 or 2 of his GFIs, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he could have still got to my halfling. And I didn't want to take the risk that he would roll a defender stumbles. Or this defender down, actually. Defender stumbles would be to my advantage, whereby I'd only get shoved around a little bit. And on to my turn 4. And yeah, as I was saying as well, his number 10 did try and dodge out of tackle zone number 1. Achieved it, but that does free up my treatment to go and punch his dudes. So it looks like the first thing I'm going to do is go and shove his number 8 out the way. I may very well attempt to create a square here so that I can knock number 3 into number 8. I don't know if that would actually achieve anything worthwhile. I don't think it would. My main priority right now is just to get number 3 out of my ball carrier's tackle zone. The first thing I'm going to do, 2 dice block against number 4. Shove him out the way. I can attack number 3, but it'd probably, it would only be with my number 4 ball carrier, since I've already performed the blitz with my treatment. So this is a little bit risky. Having said that, re-rolls, so it's not all bad. I decide I'm going to run my number 6 around, dodge past that number 10's tackle zone, and consequently get that assist that I need on number 3, attacking my ball carrier and stun him. Only problem with this is my ball carrier is forced to still stay where he is. But on the plus side, we've still got the ball, and it's only turn 4. So all in all, things are good. I'm going to attack number 5 now with my number 2 treatment, Bebop, get a defender down, and smash him to the floor. Turns out we're also going to fracture his leg. So off the field with him. And we're still locking down number 1, so that's mighty handy as well. And here I attempt to do a 1 dice block with my number 8 on number 10, since I've got that 1 assist there. I could have probably moved number 9 over, but I didn't want to risk moving him out of number 2's tackle zone and giving number 2 the choice or the opportunity to go and smack number 4. Especially since his number 4 isn't in any tackle zones at the moment. He could go and position himself in such a way that he could stand next to my number 11 and consequently take the assist away, so he would get a 2 dice block against my ball carrier if he wanted to. And there you go, and see me dodge out of a few tackle zones, one of which being number 7s with my number 7, so that I will not get shoved off the pitch anytime soon at least. And onto my opponent's turn 5. So first thing he's going to do is run his Herald up, take away that assist that number 9's providing so that he can do some punching with his number 2. But who will he punch? That's the only question. Meanwhile, he's going to go and run his number 9 up the pitch a little bit. Good idea on his part, because if I do manage to throw that Halfling, he's going to need a guy up there ready to intercept. I would say it would probably be even better with a Herald though than a Bloodletter. Oh, as you can see, my opponent down here is attempting to knock my number 7 around with his number 7. Doesn't actually manage to knock him over though. And he's going to run in and blitz with his Khorne Herald straight into the side of my cage. Straight into Freckled Foot Soldier. He would normally only get a 1 dice block, thanks to having the assist of number 4 on him there. But thanks to having horns and getting that strength of 4 for the blitz, he is able to still do the 2 dice block. However, doesn't knock anyone down, and consequently proceeds to just shove him out of the way a bit more. And so then his number 2 is going to target that guy as well in an effort to go and stand next to my ball carrier. And he does so, knocking number 11 to the floor and stunning him, and getting himself 2 men within the tackle zone of my ball carrier number 4. So well played by him. And then he's going to go and target my number 8 with his Bloodletter Demon. However, he only gets a Defender Stumbles, and so shoves Ugly Foot Soldier into number 10, who is also then pushed straight into the back of the Treeman. He attempts to dodge to end his turn, but fails that and leaves his number 8 stunned on the ground. No one for my poor Rocksteady to hit, but he is free to move all 2 of his spaces. Having said that, I'll probably blitz with him. I wouldn't be too surprised if I come over here and blitz the Herald out the way with my Treeman. I still have to dodge thanks to number 2 being where he is, but it's nice to have a Treeman standing there, to say the least. My Treeman standing there, even if the ball is knocked down, so long as the ball lands within the tackle zone of my Treeman, that's one guy who will have a lot of problems getting off of the ball, meaning he'll have to do the risk of doing a 4 or more pickup. Same way I did, but he's only got 1 reroll to do it with, so once that's used up, even if he does pick up the ball, he'll have a lot more risk in every further action he proceeds to try and do for the game. As you can see here, going to go and do a 3 dice block on his number 11, probably just in an effort to move my number 2 down the pitch and get him close to the ball carrier. Having 2 Treemen next to my ball carrier, even better than 1. However, at the moment, I have failed to move him any further, which surprises me. I would have thought I'd use some GFIs here. Oh, I already did use 1 GFI to get over there. Oh, and I took the risk of trying to dodge with my ball carrying Halfling. There weren't any good 2 dice blocks I could have made against those Khorne bastards. So rather than attempting to attack my way out of there, since I've already got dodge, I mean, we are going to fail that dodge 1 in 9 times. And when that does happen, ball's going to fly out of our hands and we're going to get turnover, which isn't great. But it wouldn't be too easy for my opponent to go picking the ball up. I mean, it does depend where it lands. But yeah, attempting to attack my way out of there just wasn't really an option. So attempting that dodge was the thing I chose to do, and we were successful at it, as we will be 8 out of 9 times. And I go and plant him next to the stunned cultist, who can make a useful part of our wall for the time being. As you can see here, just positioning my other halflings around to provide myself the cage I am requiring to defend myself from the threat of the Khorne menace. And gonna go and put number 9 up there, stand him next to number 3. So if he wants to do anything fancy, he's gonna have to dodge into a tackle zone, since there is no square he can currently go to that doesn't involve him dodging into a tackle zone. And gonna plot my number 3 next to his number 1 for the same sort of shit. My 7 and my 8 still have yet to do anything though. And I choose not to do anything with them at all. Well, I guess number 8's providing a bit of a annoyance by locking up them 3 Khornate bastards at the moment, meaning one of them is going to have to hit him at least to knock him out the way. And he's going to choose to do that with his Bloodletter, who gets another defender stumbles and, well, only shoves him to the side, so now he's going to have to hit him again. I guess he was just looking for that defender down. And eventually he got it with his cultist, or Carl, who is going to smash Fuck Ugly Foot Soldier to the face. But do what to him? But do what to him? But stun him. But only stun him, so that's good. And he's created a nice wall here for me, so that his number 4 can't actually get anywhere useful at the moment. So that's quite handy. And he's forced to run all the way around, but chooses not to stand next to the individual halfling number 6. Fragrant Foot Soldier. Why not? I don't know. Probably to give himself the option to be able to move up the pitch, should I proceed to do so in my turn, which I probably will. And then runs up his number 11 to stand next to my number 11. Freckled Foot Soldier. Oh, going to come in with a blitz with his Bloodletter here. Get sick of hanging around at the back of the stadium. Going to run in and smash number 10 to the face. Maybe that's just what he was doing. Maybe just trying to get a really long run up. Wind up, you know. So that he can then slam straight into number 10 and KO the bastard. Who was that? Feline Foot Soldier. Yep. Okay, well, Feline Foot Soldier is out for the count right now. Gary Cool is the man we're going to have to knock to the floor in order to proceed up with this cage. Yeah, I don't know if you actually just saw that. His number 7 attempted to attack my number 7 and decided he got both down and the defender stumbles and figured, yeah, you know, I'll take the both down. I'll try and take out this halfling. I've got more of a chance of hurting him than he has of hurting me. And his cultist died. Foolish Foot Soldier. Don't know how he did it, but he killed a cultist. And as you can see here, going to throw my halfling down the pitch and get a turnover, but at least get him the flange away from the Khorne menace here. It was my turn 6, so I was running out of turns to try and rush that halfling down. I couldn't really have protected him with my treeman, not in any cage sort of a way, not if I actually wanted him to get to the end of that pitch anytime soon. So I just decided to throw him, since too many of my halflings are at the back of the pitch right now, and Rocksteady with his movement of 2 just can't really provide much in the way of support. Yeah, as you can see over here, number 5, Cole. No, not Cole. Who is he? He's the dead one. Let me select the dead one. Red. Red is dead, thanks to Foolish Foot Soldier. However, Fragrant Foot Soldier is going to get... Oh, he's going to get his mouth slapped wide open or something like that by his number 11 Blitzer over here, who I'm not sure why is trying to attack this halfling over here. Could he not reach... Oh, I guess, of course, my ball-carrying... former ball-carrying halfling is now on the floor, so no need to blitz him. And so he's going to get a load of attacks on all my halflings, since they're left standing next to Khorne bastards, which is generally not something you want to do. But that's what's going to happen when you get turnovers, and as you can see there, my opponent gets turnover because he attempts to attack my number 3 with his number 1 and rolls a both down and attacker down. But at least that time with the both down he didn't get his cultist killed, so that's something, I guess. And in the meantime, I'm going to use my treeman in my new turn 7, Rocksteady, to go and attack his number 9 Bloodletter, just to stand next to him and prevent him from running down the pitch to go and get that ball. Meanwhile, I'm going to stand up to my number 4. He goes and picks up the ball and then runs back. Do a GFI, succeed at that. Don't really need to do another one. Don't really even think I need to do the first one. I'm not sure. Let's see how far this Ezekiel Bob can actually move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Duh, duh. Yeah, didn't even need to do it. Can't reach me. And my treeman down here is going to go and smash his number 3. Come on, Bebop. Yep, well, going to stun him at the very least. That's something. Going to stun Ralph, knocking him to the floor and standing himself in the tackle zones of his number 2 and number 11. Then my newfound murderer foot soldier, yeah. Delete that. My newfound murdering foot soldier, foolish foot soldier, is going to run down here and stand next to number 8. Going to stand up number 9. Not going to dodge him out of there. Just going to keep additional tackle zones, I guess, and assists on these Khorne scum. And number 11 is going to stand himself up next to number 10. Though I should probably dodge him out and stand next to number 4. Not that number 4 can actually even reach my number 4. But, yeah, actually, yeah, there's no point. I have to score immediately now anyway, so, yeah. There's just no point. And on to my opponent's turn. Going to stand up Mel. And going to attack my number 11, Freckled Foot Soldier, with his Frankie Fight. Only going to get a defender stumbles though, so just going to shove him out of the way a little bit. But Ezekiel Bob's going to show him how it's done. Rushes in there and knocks him out. Then runs back over to number 8 to put some sort of assist on him, I guess, though it's not really worth anything right now because no one can hit him. But, yep, then his number 8's going to take inspiration from all that Glenn, and also going to knock out Foolish Foot Soldier, who thought he was big and hard after killing that other cultist, so went and stood next to him, but obviously that was a wrong thing to do. And as you can see, number 9 is also going to get himself knocked out by Carl. Meanwhile, he's going to dodge out with his number 9, Gary Cool, and shout and cuss at number 4, I guess, from afar. But all that will be for nothing, since it's my last turn. And undoubtedly, I will be looking to score the touchdown. The only thing left for my opponent to do is do something with his number 11, who is going to dodge out. In an effort not to get beaten the shit out of by the treatment, I guess. And on to my turn 8. Now, will I try anything aside from scoring? I have a reroll, so, you know, it's cool. Undoubtedly, I'm going to attempt to do some attacks with my treeman right here. Going to shove that number 2 back. I mean, I could have attempted to dodge out with a halfling to get a 3 dice block, but I don't want to risk it. The amount of times I've failed with my dodges, that 1 in 9, you know, if I need to do it, I'll do it, but I don't want to just do it for the sake of trying to get an assist and possibly denying myself the ability to get a touchdown. So yeah, I just did the 2 dice. Didn't bother re-rolling it in case it turned into an even worse result, as you can see, and just scored the damn goal. My opponent has none of his guys knocked out, so there's no one that needs to recover. However, 3 of his guys are permanently off the field for the rest of the game at least. And 3 of my halflings recover. 2 of them still remaining knocked out. But doesn't matter, as you can see, got the subs, got the money, everything's cool. And so consequently, I think I do have 11 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yes.